So welcome back to part 2 of
I've got lip gloss on now.
of conversations with the George Michael singers. We just had a quick look at what we just recorded, and now we know we do have to rein Jo in because she just ran. She has like 2 conversations.
I'm never going to change now.
Oh.
You're stuck with me how I am.
So the conversations
Yes.
are, we're elaborating on some of the stories that we tell on the show. So
Let's start. Like, one of the stories that we tell on the show is actually how we met George, and I think you should start because you are the original OG. You're the number one George. Well, everybody knows you as the George Michael singer more than they do me. I've been like secret squirrel. I've been sort of not ever really popped my face up and made myself known, really, to be honest. But you have been around a hell of a lot longer than me with regards to George being in his.
Why do you keep saying I've been?
I don't mean it. I don't mean it like that.
Whatever. Yes, you're right.
No, I need petrol.
Oh no! Look, she needs petrol. But listen, look where we are.
Oh God!
Might have wanted to think about the petrol before we put on the road.
I know.
Oh my God!
And I was going to get the car cleaned as well, but I didn't manage to get around to
How
doing
much
that.
petrol do you actually have?
No, we'll be all right.
Okay.
Anyway, how did you meet George?
Okay. I'm not sure if most people know this or not.
Now you can like really elaborate and don't like tell them who you used to sing with as well before. I mean, like she's a legend, man. You are a legend. You are.
I did a lot of stuff before I met George, that's for sure. And
are you
I
going to
ran
say what you did?
Well, yeah,
come on. Look,
well, I ran into George a lot on the road because I was on the road with Elton John at the time.
John.
And he was quite close to George at one point. I don't know what happened with that relationship, actually. It kind of went a bit south, but anyway, so I was kind of in George's company a lot around those times when I was working with Elton, and we did a song called Wrap Her Up, and George came and sang on Elton's song, and then we did a video with that as well.
Just to cut you. Yeah. When you were around, like, when you bumped into George, could you feel that there was a connection there? Did you talk or?
Yeah. He was always really super like.
You were on his radar.
Hi Shirley.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Not only it's because of your incredible vocal ability, but it's because you're absolutely beautiful, and George loved a beautiful woman.
He really did. He actually did.
He really appreciated beautiful women.
Yeah, so we did. Yeah, I guess you're right. There was something like he always made sure, he said hello to me and whatever. And look, to be perfectly honest,
you thought, I'm going to nick her.
I hope he did. I didn't know that much about George though at the time. I wasn't, I can't. I knew who he was, but I wasn't like a Wham fan or, so I wasn't like looking out for him.
I was massive Wham. Oh!
Mind the cars.
Right, I'm going to look at the road.
You look at the road.
I'm going to look at the road, not at the camera. I wasn't a Wham fan. Anyway, go on, sorry. It's not about
so
me.
I wasn't, I really kind of, I guess I wasn't that intimidated by like George Michael.
Right.
And we just had like a nice friendship, but not, I'd never for 1 minute thought that he was thinking about me to work with him. I don't know. I don't know why. I just didn't even think of it. Anyway, and also I'd met him a ton of times when I was with Spandau Ballet as well, because obviously Shirley Holliman was married to Mike. Well, they weren't married.
Shirley Holliman?
Shirley Kemp.
Oh, sorry, gosh.
So she was going out with Martin, and actually, I don't know which way around. I've got a terrible memory, but I don't know which way around it was. Whether I worked with Elton first and then Spandau, or the other way around. I can't remember.
But either way, you were definitely on George's radar.
Yeah,
because,
yeah,
like, obviously, when
100%.
you know bumped into each other,
Yeah.
he would go out of his way to
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say hello.
yeah. To say, and then obviously he
But
was.
she has got the most infectious personality anyway. You just want to I don't know, you just want to be around Shirley.
I love you. I love you too. But yeah, so anyway, we're to cut a long story short, although I shouldn't be cutting a long story short.
No,
'cause
you
that's
don't
what
need
this
to.
whole thing
Yeah,
is
you
about.
can
so I
waffle
don't-
away, waffle
oh,
away.
I'm going to waffle away.
Waffle away.
So yeah, so when he did finally asked me to come and sing on the Wham final, I was like, oh wow, that would be amazing.
Where did he
of course.
ask you that question? Where can you remember where he asked
That
you?
was, I think, was at Wembley.
So what were you
there
doing
was
at
a
Wembley?
Show.
What were you doing at Wembley? Oh,
I think-
go on, have a little.
Yeah, no, I'm
delve
not good
in
with
that brain.
times because
No,
if
I'm
I
crap
say
as
something
well.
and someone will go, no, George wasn't there at that time, so I'm not even going to
Oh, okay,
time on it.
alright.
I can't even remember. But I don't even know when the Wham final was, to be
Did
honest.
he?
Was that in?
Was it him that actually personally asked you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He actually asked me.
Yeah. So he handpicked you.
Yeah, and also one of the other guys that was, so it must have been something to do with Elton. Maybe it was Live Aid. Could have been at Live Aid. Yeah, it could have been then. But because he used one of the other singers
See what a legend she is.
who was with Elton as well, a guy called Alan Carvel was the other singer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the other girl they used was Janet Mooney, who was married to Steve Sidwell at the time.
wow.
And Steve Sidwell is our MD, and he was also George's MD, but he used to play trumpet in
For
Wham,
George,
didn't he?
Yeah.
So that's how long he's known him. Yeah, so
Do you know what? We should get when we further down the line. We should have a little conversation with Steve Sidwell. I think.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think that'd be quite nice.
yeah, really. Yeah, because Steve's known him longer than me, in fact, because Steve was on tour with Wham, so
Oh, okay.
he's obviously got the
So-
longest relationship.
So going back, so George asked you,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alan and
Alan,
Janet
to
do the vocals.
Wham final.
The Wham final. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Because at the time, to be honest, I didn't even realise that the other girls, Pepsi and Shirley, I didn't realise that I thought they were the singers. In where I always thought that they did all the vocals.
I think everybody did. Everybody did, but they
But it wasn't, I guess they were the dancers in Wham. So I was like, oh, okay, I didn't realise you were using.
you didn't sing.
Yeah, I didn't realise that.
You would have thought that he would have used them.
Yeah, because I was
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
why would he want singers when he's already got two singers?
Yeah.
So that was all
Yeah, yeah,
confusing.
yeah.
But anyway, once
Yeah.
I understood what was going on, I got it. And in fact, when we did the final, I was like, oh, I want to be
A dancer.
Pepsi and Shirley because they were having more fun there with George, and we were like at the back, doing the BVs. Anyway, that was like the first show that I did with George, which was really incredible.
Wow.
And then right after that, he said to me, I'm doing a new album, a solo thing. I'd really like you to come and do some vocals on my album. And I was like, oh my God, this is like,
It's like a pinch me moment.
yeah, like his solo, I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, you could use anyone, let's face it. I mean, it was, I was like,
Well, I mean,
oh
he
my God.
also could have, because with Wham, he recorded all the vocals himself, so he could have actually just
Well, he could have
stuck
just
with
done
that
it
formula.
Yeah, but again, we say this when we do get a chance on the interviews. I think that was a conscious thing for him. I think he wanted he wanted a George Michael sound, not something that sounded like Wham. And
You can put the camera on yourself because I'm not talking.
So I think he definitely was looking for a George Michael sound, and luckily I was a part of that.
Woo!
Way.
Sorry, someone just overtook me on the inside as I was about to go in the inside lane. Oh my gosh.
That's all right. We're back on track.
Ooh, right.
Yeah.
My heart went into my arsehole then. Fucking hell.
Yeah. I'm not sure filming and driving is. Well, I'm filming. She's driving. So.
I know. So he asked you to.
So then he asked me to
So
be on the Faith album, and I
Wow.
was so excited.
what an album! Do you know? Can I just quickly
Oh
say,
my God.
when that Faith album came out, I was working in retail in a shop called Benetton. Do you remember Benetton?
Oh yeah.
And you used to have to fold. I learned how to fold jumpers. Do you remember the Benetton? The jumpers were like all in a row. They
I
were
could do that as well.
Can you? But they taught me how to fold jumpers properly, and they used to play the album, Faith album, over and over and over and over. And I used to think, just genius. That was my favourite album. And I just used to, I know every word, every song. I used to sing it in the shop, and I just used to dream about sort of just being a singer and working.
Did you dream about working with George?
Yeah, I did. Of course I did.
Wow.
Of course I did.
See, you manifested that though. I think you manifested working with him. Yeah, I mean, it was, this is
the camera on you.
Oh yeah, this is like, I mean, it's just one of the greatest things in my, life really, is to have met George, and not only that, to have stayed with him all the way through his career I feel really, really honoured, honestly.
Well, that I tell you what, I mean, I think what is so special about that story, and there are lots of stories, but I think the unique and special thing about that story is that he actually handpicked you himself, because lots of managers or production or tour managers or whatever put bands together and stuff like that, and the fact that he actually handpicked you is just lovely,
Well, I mean, he did that really with all of us. There's not one person that's worked with George that he hasn't kind of met or liked their voices. I mean, it's the same with you. You were chosen by him.
Oh, 100. I mean, he definitely handpicked me. I mean, I'll elaborate more on those stories as we go further down the line. But that is a beautiful story, Shirley.
That makes me feel kind of sad as well. But anyway, for today, I think that'll be it, and we'll see you on the next episode of Conversations with the George Michael Singers. Or is it a blog?
Love you, miss you already.
Or is it a blog?
Whatever it is,
Blog.
it's a conversation.